Now, if you know anything about Marc-Andre Fleury, then you'll know fair and well that he's the ultimate prankster. And sometimes, the pranks don't end once he steps onto the ice as a professional. Instead, they more often than not translate to opponents as trolling. But in all honesty, Flower has to be the most lovable troll in the league, cause this guy just keeps us smiling while seemingly holding a new trick up his sleeve every time. So think of this as the try not to laugh challenge. And with that, here are the best troll moments thus far in Fleury's career. I'm sure for a goaltender, shootouts aren't their favorite end result. The one-on-one action with the game weighing on your shoulders can be good for the nerves. But to ease the stress or even give him some leverage in his mind, Flower quickly went to work during the break by subtly constructing his own miniature snow wall to, slow the pucks down a little. Unfortunately for him though, his master plan was discovered, as the officials effortlessly kicked the snow from the crease. And as you would expect, once the referee revealed that his plan was toast, all Fleury could do was laugh it off. So does anyone else besides obviously Mark Scheifele here feel like singing this now?
Do you want to build a snowman?
One thing I'm sure players will never dream of happening to them during the intense NHL postseason is being tickled. Yes, I said it. Tickled. As you already know, our favorite prankster was the one behind the action. During the Western Conference Finals of last year, things as you would expect between both teams got pretty chippy. And Game 3 of the series was no exception. As a scrum ensued directly behind the net, Fleury saw it as his perfect opportunity to cash in on tickling an ear, of course. I mean, what else are you supposed to do in a hockey fight? Anyways, Wheeler, who was tied up with Cody Eakin at the time, didn't even flinch, as the Flower lightly grazed his ear with his finger. And honestly, I really don't want to know if he licked it first or not. I'll just leave that one alone. Following the game, after being asked why he decided to give the Jets captain a real earful, he replied playfully with, "I did that," he says. "There's cameras everywhere. I was just sitting there and people, they were fighting," he says. "And I was trying to have a little laugh by myself. That was it." As you'll quickly learn, this netminder loves to mock celebrations. It's kinda his thing, to be honest. And why not, especially when it's the one you had to see the postseason beforehand. So Flower, I really can't blame you on this one. As you probably know, it was Kuznetsov who had a silly doppelganger. As Fleury, following a miraculous performance of 23 saves and a W, decided to flap his wings and call it a night. Therefore, if you were a Caps fan watching this, well, I'm sure it had to feel a little worse than just a tickle. Back around 8 years ago, when Fleury was still the starting goaltender for Pittsburgh, it's not too far-fetched to believe that he and Price had a healthy rivalry going. Both bring quality between the pipes, and at the time were playing in the Eastern Conference. Therefore, knowing the Flower, who is known as extremely competitive, took the loss in early December of 2011 against Montreal to heart, as the Penguins lost in a shootout 2-1. One thing he obviously took to heart even further was Price's celebration, as Fleury decided to mock the Habs netminder after a different result around a week later, and struck the exact same pose after hearing the final horn sound. Now it's pretty clear that Fleury over the years has perfected the art of being sneaky. Besides the ear tickle behind the cage, he also stole the show shortly after his team's first official season began. As a Flower, seeing his teammate Nate Schmidt tied up with Justin Abdelkader, decided to untie not the two involved in the confrontation, but rather Abdelkader's pants. The forward subtly gave his perp a side glance after Fleury had skated away, but didn't budge. Geez, Flower, haven't you heard of first base before? As we all know, most players have their own pregame rituals. Some are pretty typical, while others leave you shaking your head. Anyways, one of Alex Ovechkin's, at least during the Stanley Cup Finals of last year, was spraying a little Gatorade onto the ice. So what does Fleury do? You guessed it. Mark reaches for his own bottle and decides to go to town while aiming in the captain's direction. Ovechkin, of course, sees this and gives Flower's pads a little love tap as gratitude. And Fleury, with his fiery composure, didn't take the tap lightly, and immediately slashed Ovechkin in order to voice his displeasure.